Broadcasting from Park Avenue West, you're watching WMFD Television, Channel 68.1, Mansfield.
This program discusses sensitive mental health issues, including suicide. Viewer discretion is advised.
Tonight, the show's going to be a little bit different. This is our 17th episode of Sparking the Conversation. We are about a third of a way through the very first year of this show. So tonight, instead of a guest, we thought it would be a good time to either introduce you to the first time to 33 Forever, or actually reintroduce you and tell you exactly how we came to be.
Maybe an hour after we got the message that we lost Danny, Danny's sister said to us, we were all crying, and she says, "What do we do? What do we tell people?" And I'm like, "Baby, we got to tell them the truth. This is nothing that can be hidden, because otherwise the suicide will win."
We're not mental health professionals. It's just something that happened to our family. We direct people other places. And most important of all, I think, don't quit. Keep fighting. Keep living. Things will get better.
Good evening and welcome to Sparking the Conversation. We are 33 Forever. I'm Jeff Heck and this is my wife, Donna. We're so excited to be able to bring you weekly half-hour messages, stories, and resources surrounding mental health topics and challenges. Now, this show's purpose and hope is to provide both information and inspiration, making conversations about mental health the norm. And as you heard in our introduction, this is our 17th show, Donna. We are a third of the way, 33%, of course, third of the way.
Ryan said that. That is very, very good timing. And I think it's a good time to maybe start sharing everything that 33, why it became 33, how the name came, and also perhaps how, a little bit of a background on Danny, and then where we're going from here.
So we know that a lot of you may already know our story, but maybe some of you don't. And if you didn't see the opening episode of Sparking the Conversation, when we first joined you, we thought it would be a great idea to, at this point in our series, if you will, give you some more information about, again, as Donna said, where we started and why we are where we are. So maybe you should tell the folks a little bit about Danny as a young girl and kind of what led up to where we are today.
Well, she is the inspiration behind 33 Forever. Danny was born as the oldest daughter. We're blended. We were blended in 1999. We started seeing each other. The kids interacted, and so we've been together 21 years now. Okay. So all the kids were very much a unit. I think that's a good way to put it. So they defended each other. They loved each other. But Danny, above all the kids, she was the loudest, the most inappropriate, the most obnoxious, and probably had the, at her young age, showed such potential to be a life changer. Yeah,
and I actually used to tell Danielle that she was truly an agent for change. I used to tell her when she was 14, 15, when I first was kind of getting to know her and we were getting together, that she didn't understand how much she could change the world just with her force, and she was a life force. So, really the story then for us starts at about 15 as far as her mental health challenges.
It really does. It was right after we had gotten together, and Danny actually was going through some problems with school, with friends, probably with everything that had, as years went on, we learned that there was some PTSD from childhood issues, and so she started struggling then. And the first time we ever realized it was when we had gotten a call in the middle of the night that she was at the hospital because she had attempted to take her life.
Right. And, we did what any group of parents would do. You rush to your kid's side and you try to get them the help they need and you try to understand really what's going on. But I will tell you, at that point in time, Donna and I weren't married yet. No. But at that point in time, it was a very scary time. But we were also really struggling with some of the things that I think people who have mental illness and mental health challenges in their families, I think they struggle with, and that is we were embarrassed. We didn't really want people to know about it. We didn't want to stigmatize her. for the rest of her time. And so it was a tough time. We did get her the treatment that she needed. We did all of those things.
We did. It was in and out, and we did it on our own, like a lot of people have to, and did it 20 years ago. But we got her on track. She had a very serious attempt at the age of 22, but again, as Jeff said, by then we had gotten help. After a year, she was empowered and strong, and really was beginning to take charge of her life. The one thing that we noticed at that point was she wanted to make a difference, I think.
Yeah, she did right away, and it was really clear that she did. And she had, again, that inner strength and that inner force. And people were naturally drawn to her. That was always Danielle. That was always how she was. And really, at that point in her life, she started to make very positive changes. She knew she needed mental health help. She knew she needed medicine. She knew she needed talk therapy from time to time, even though she didn't always enjoy it. I don't know that anybody really enjoys it, but she did come to enjoy it, really, and she came to rely on all that treatment.
She actually did. Yeah. And we're going to take a break, but in the second segment of the show, we want to talk a little bit about truly how successful Dani was in her life, and then what happened for the perfect storm to change and rock our world. So we'll be right back after this message.
Hi, I'm Joe Trollian, the Executive Director for the Richland County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. Addiction to drugs and alcohol create a personal struggle as well as impact those around you. You are not alone. We have many professionals and organizations who care. Reach out for help today. Know it before you need it. Visit knowit4u needit.com.
Brought to you by the Richland County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, growing and preserving a legacy of hope and success within our community.
We are more than a counseling center.
More than just a medication or therapy session.
What do I like the most? It's gotta be the team.
Providing the highest standard of care, that's just what we do.
And equipping patients with coping skills to be successful, that's so important.
It's simple. We are just hopeful. We are hopeful for our patients.
We are hopeful that we can help them find their way to a better balanced and more resilient self.
We are Hope 419.
Visit us today at hope419.com.
We're all in this together, and now more than ever, it's critical that we all support our local businesses. Please shop local first. Shopping local affects our everyday life, from emergency services to the quality of our schools. Supporting local businesses is a wise investment that promotes growth, pride, a sense of community, and frankly, is just more convenient.
Shop local first, all across the area, shop here first.
Attention Zantac users. The FDA requested manufacturers to pull Zantac and products containing ranitidine off the market, noting exposure to unacceptable levels of a cancer-causing agent. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with cancer after regular use of Zantac or ranitidine products, you might be entitled to financial compensation. If you have colon, kidney, or any of these cancers, time is critical. Call now for a free consultation. If you don't win, you pay nothing.
Call 800-555-1212.
This program discusses sensitive mental health issues, including suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation. We're here today. Donna and I are just doing a very special episode as our 1/3 of the way through our first year episode, talking about 33 Forever.
Yep.
and giving all of you a little bit of a reintroduction or an introduction to 33 Forever. So we were talking about Dani and her childhood and some of the challenges that she had. But you know, the one thing that I remember so much is as she got into her 20s, she really became a powerful person in her professional world and her personal world.
You know, she did. I remember one time I was going through some messages recently, and I'd sent Dani a message that we had had an hour-and-a-half conversation the night before, and I said, you know what, you need to do a TV show, or I'm going to write a book, because you have a wealth of knowledge about helping people, about bringing suicide awareness, which was her goal,
Right.
to the table. She was so concerned about young girls because she said it, young girls were very obviously subject to taking their lives, but it gets younger and younger.
Yeah, the other thing that I think she really did that she was excellent at was that she had a great ability to make people feel like they could come to her with problems. And sometimes that was a good thing and sometimes it wasn't such a good thing because I think it would deplete her bucket of her own resilience sometimes. But Danny became a very, very successful business person. She was a boss lady. I always talk about that all the time. But she was a very compassionate boss, and she was always trying to make people better. She ran book clubs. She did mentorship programs in her professional world. She started with a company that I'm sure the audience doesn't know, but she started with that company,
Yep.
in Florida.
Yep.
She was the 6th employee they hired, and by the time she left in 2017, there were 350 people, and she was
What, 250?
250 of them were
yeah.
under her.
Yes.
So she had tremendous success and financial success and otherwise. So
Yep.
all the outward appearances of Danielle were success and what you would expect.
And at that point, we thought she had everything under control.
Yeah.
She went from that job to starting up another company, and she was a tremendous implementer. So Danny actually moved to DC, and again, she had new friends, a beautiful apartment. Her dogs came with her, and she was just happy, as happy as she'd ever been, is what she had said to us so often.
Right, and as we hear people say, she gave all appearances of living her best life. We hear people talk about that now. She always struggled. She always struggled, though, but she knew it, and she got treatment, and she got care, and she was seeing a counselor and a psychiatrist for medication management. She was doing the things that she needed to. She did yoga. She did all kinds of other self-help things.
Yep,
But
was
she
always
always-
keeping herself in check.
She was, but she also had those moments where she could dwell on the negative and get into the darkness a little bit. But we thought that she really had overcome that.
Yep. And so, in February of 2019, we received a call in the middle of the night. We had, at that point, hadn't talked to Danny very much that past week, which was a little odd, but I attribute it to she was busy with work, and I was busy with a new grandbaby coming along. And so when the phone rang at 3:20 in the morning, I looked at you, and first words out of my mouth was, "Oh my gosh, this is it."
Yeah.
And
I don't know why. We both had hoped we'd never get that phone call, but I will tell you, from the time she was 15, we shared with each other later, we always dreaded that phone call. And as it turns out, eventually we found out that we had lost her. And, very devastating time for our family, early February 2015.
19, honey.
Sorry, 2019.
Yeah.
And, very devastating time that affected really not just our family, our friend base, this community, really. And we saw, we always liken suicide to a ripple on the pond. You throw a stone out into the middle of the flat pond,
Yep.
and the ripples just keep going out. And that's really, we experienced that firsthand watching the aftermath of Danny's death.
The ripple effect. We had a couple celebrations of life with her, and 500 at one, almost 150 at another, and phone calls and emails, and the kind that you never want to really have. But we had it, so she was a life changer. But the darkness got her that night. Somehow, some way, she just lost hope.
Yeah, she couldn't get through that moment. And I talk about that all the time, that, you got to figure out a way to get through that moment of darkness. And I'm convinced that if Danny had gotten through that moment in February of 2018, that she'd still be with us. So,
she needed a plan, because that's the one thing that professionals say, have a plan if you're feeling that. And I don't know if she had really thought she was done with it too and didn't have a plan.
Right.
But it happened. We gathered our family around, and we were trying to figure out, what we could do to make a difference because it was so horrible. We had people say, do we tell people what happened? Do we just say she died unexpectedly?
Right.
And I was like, no, we have to tell them the truth. We have to say that it was suicide because otherwise the suicide would win.
Yeah, and we always said that, and we didn't hide it. It was a somewhat difficult decision to make, but it really wasn't. I mean, it was something that we knew we had to do. We were compelled to do that early on. I think our whole family felt that
Agreed,
way.
they did.
And that again, we couldn't let the suicide be the lasting legacy of Danielle, not with the things that she had already accomplished in life and the things that she had in mind that she wanted to do.
True.
And that's really within a few days, that's where 33 Forever came from.
It was. That's we tossed a few names around. The name 33 Forever came up. I got covered in my first set of Danny bumps, which I felt like it was just kind of like a hug from her saying, I want that. In December, you and Danny had actually talked about doing some sort of a nonprofit or business where she could help others struggling.
We did, and she had in mind what she wanted to do. We were putting together a business plan. We were trying to figure out a way for her to actually turn it into something she could do for her vocation. And we had plans. We were making those plans. So in the immediate aftermath, when we lost her, we knew we had to do something, and we wanted to carry that legacy on.
Yep.
So we're going to be back in a minute. We have to take another break, but we're going to be back. We want to talk to you a little bit more about 33 Forever, what it is, and where it's going. And we'll be back in a minute on Sparking the Conversation.
If we could say one thing to her, I think what we would let her know is how important she was to us.
And I wish that I hadn't been so reluctant to confront him.
Be a friend, listen to him, and get him help.
I am so glad someone reminded me that I'm worth it and will always be worth it.
I'm glad that I have people now that support what I want to do in my dream of helping other people.
The bladder control aisle. You won't shop here again. Your private business is your own. The constant struggle is over. Now there's a better way. It's HDIS. We home deliver bladder control products. We understand how you feel. For over 25 years, we've home delivered to many of the 20 million Americans who deal with incontinence. We offer all brands. We pay shipping and use plain, unmarked boxes. If we can help you or someone you care for, call for your free product sample pack and $45 in money-saving coupons. Our counselors will help you choose the right product. And unlike stores, we're always in stock. You'll get what you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. HDIS, the better way.
For your free sample pack with your free catalog, $45 in money-saving coupons, and free product samples, call 1-800-905-9814. That's 1-800-905-9814.
Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation. Jeff and I are here tonight. We're just sharing stories about Danielle, how 33 Forever came to be. And the last segment we told the heart of why we started 33 Forever after losing Danny. But the one thing that really impressed us, within a week, Jeff, you contacted your friends who were attorneys and who were accountants and got all the paperwork together to do this nonprofit. We didn't know if we'd make $5,000, $500.
$5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe our $5.
Really.
So we were completely shocked at the support we got from our community, from our friends. Within the first 2 months, we had made over $30,000 going towards a nonprofit, all from people that we knew. And then the word started to spread, and we started a Facebook and Instagram, and that was pretty organic. I like how you say that.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it was.
buying people or anything. It was there, and people shared.
Yeah, we have about 10,000 followers, I think, right now, which doesn't really mean a lot, but I think it does with organizations like ours. And again, it's pretty organic the way that it developed. The other thing I think that was really amazing was how our community came together. And at first it started in this community, but it spread way beyond that. And we've been able to do a lot of things that I think have been pretty positive for the mental health world, both locally, and I think we're starting to make an impact regionally. But we have really 5 pillars that we talk about in 33 Forever, and I think those pillars are interesting to talk about.
They are, and they're pretty basic. If you talk to any other suicide or mental health issues, we always want to provide resources for people.
Yeah, first and foremost, we want to get people to the pros. We are not the pros. In fact, we tell people we are not mental health professionals. This is just something that happened to our family. I say that all the time, and I mean it. And so our job is, when people reach out to us, is to get them directed to the right resources.
Absolutely.
So resources are a huge area.
They are.
We also do advocacy, and,
we do.
and we've gotten we do advocacy with all kinds of different mental health organizations, governmental folks.
Yeah.
We have friends in the legislature we've been able to contact, and we're working on not just Ohio, but reaching out beyond that.
And, you know, on advocacy, the one thing I want to kind of share is we talk to people who are struggling or who have a family member struggling to advocate for them, because you know when someone isn't right, and that it starts at home.
Yeah,
we had to advocate at the very beginning for Danny, and I think that's just very important. So there's a lot of aspects of that.
You're right. Then we do community awareness, and we do all kinds of events. Absolutely. We have a golf outing coming up in September. One of our big fundraisers, we do a mental health awareness walk that we call Danny's birthday walk in May, which is her birth month, and also Mental Health Awareness Month, where we have all kinds of other community forums and available things that we're working on to try to get the mental health message out there.
Well, people actually will do Facebook birthday celebrations and help us raise money for that.
Yeah.
So we have a lot with the community involvement and a lot of people willing to help and do fundraisers for 33, which is incredible because they know in the end it's going to go towards mental health.
Yeah, it has been amazing. So and then our 4th pillar is education, and we have a very robust educational program. We're working with schools, we're working with high schools and middle schools. We're working in colleges. We have some partners in that. We work with NAMI Richland County. We work with NAMI Ohio. We work with
the big one. Tell them about what we've got started at Ohio State.
We have an excellent. We've developed a really incredible relationship with Ohio State and the Department of Mental Health and Psychiatric Services, and we're doing all kinds of things with OSU, and they've done a tremendous amount of things. And then the last one that I want to make sure we get out before we run out of time
is research, because we're going
to,
you know, if we can eventually put money toward research, that is our goal, that is our hope, because they do not know much about the mind. And that to us is where it all starts. The brain is the key to the entire body, to everything.
Yep.
But they know the least about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's the most important organ. I say it runs everything else, and it's the least understood. So we have a lot of work to do in that area. And I think the more research that is being done, the more we're learning about it, and the more very bright future things that we see for mental health treatment as we learn more about the brain and the scientists learn more about it. So it's pretty exciting. We've been just incredibly blown away by the support of our community, especially this Richland County community, but really the statewide community.
It's wonderful, and you know, it all led us to here, to Sparking the Conversation.
Yep.
Thanks to Kelby King, thanks to Ryan, and the team at WMFD. And speaking of which, we need to take a break right now, and we'll be back with Sparking the Conversation.
Catalyst Life Services, a comprehensive behavioral health organization, has been serving the community for 70 years. Our wide array of wraparound services and our ability to treat the whole person is what sets us apart. It's everything you need in one place: mental health, crisis, detox and addiction services, case management, and peer recovery support. We even offer vocational programming to get you back to work. Catalyst Life Services. Call today and get the help you need.
Morning. Good morning. Savor a delicious caramel, French vanilla, or sugar-free French vanilla iced coffee, only $1.50.
Need a place to relax and watch the big game? How about great food and live entertainment? MVP's Sports Bar and Grill has it all. When it comes to food, MVP hits it out of the park, like the Reuben sandwich. Try our classic spaghetti with meatballs, the cheese ravioli, and the 3 meatballs with garlic bread, also the mammoth chicken salad, or try the antipasta salad. Check out their lunch and dinner specials on Facebook. MVP, the place to be on Park Avenue, or call 419-526-3061.
Hi everyone, I'm Larry Stein. You know, we're always looking for new ways to cover stories in North Central Ohio. You can help us too by sending us news tips, some story ideas, pictures, or videos right to our newsroom email. Just send us your tip to newsroom@WMFD.com.
Welcome back to Sparking the Conversation. This is the point in the show where we always do a memory moment. Today we did a 30-minute memory moment of Danielle and the reasons that we're here. Right. What we kind of wanted to talk about at the very end quickly is if you have any need for any resources to educate yourself, to learn more about a specific mental health challenge, an eating disorder. We have got many resources on our page, on our website at www.33forever.life.
I think it's important to say we've had all those vetted too by professionals. So we have a professional advisory committee made up of mental health professionals. I think that is important because again, we're not mental health professionals, but we do have people that we rely on who give us great advice and great information.
They do, and occasionally we'll highlight things that they have said on our Facebook and Instagram. So check there for information, positive upbeats to things that may be going on in the world, a positive story or a story that again brings awareness, because that is our whole goal, to bring awareness.
Like us, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. We try to post. We post almost every single day. There's something out there. We try to give positive messages of inspiration and hope, just like we try to do with this show.
And the one thing that we've said before, we think the reason Danny's story has impacted so much and so many people is because we shared the story, we shared her heart. If you have a story to tell, if you have anything that you'd like to share that you think would help the world and help impact our community and beyond, we would love to talk with you, have you on the show, and just do our best to spark the conversation, to make conversations about mental health the norm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's really what this show has been all about from the beginning. And we give credit to WMFD for really stepping out with us in an area that we don't think it even exists out there anyplace else. We're not aware of any other show like this, and we're not patting ourselves on the back, but it's just a wonderful thing. We need more of this.
We do.
It's just something that we think we can help people understand and help people break the stigma. And again, as you said, make conversations about mental health and norm.
Yep. Thank you for being here with me and doing everything.
Thank you.
We appreciate you all. Have a great evening, and thank you for watching Sparking the Conversation.